Dr. Brandi.
And I'm Dr. Joe.
And we have a bit of an invitation for you.
Yes.
This episode, we're going to talk quite a bit about career and money and kind of like how you got here. And so we want you to kind of assess how you got here in your career and in your work. So do me this favor. I challenge you to write down, first assess, and then write down on a scale of 0 to 10, how satisfied or dissatisfied you are in your current place of employment or your current job.
Love that. And I'm going to make it even simpler.
I think we have a tool for them. We have something that'll help them with this challenge.
We have a tool, and I'm going to give you the tool. The tool is very simple. It's called the purpose assessment. All right. So if you go to purposeoverdreams.com, it's absolutely free. I've created a tool to help you assess exactly where you are and hopefully get you on the right track. So once again, purposeoverdreams.com, go get the purpose assessment. It's absolutely free, and let us know how it was for you.
Mm-hmm. That's good. I like it.
We out. Peace.
I'm Dr. Brandi.
I'm Dr. Joe.
And you're in for a
hell of a ride.
Life, love, and legacy. So, I have been known to be described as an iconic licensed psychologist. I'm also a global speaker, consultant, trainer, a leader in the mental health game.
All right, love that. Well, a lot of people know me as an international speaker and peak performance coach, and I've written a few books as well, you know.
You also happen to be married to me.
Yes.
And I to you.
Yes.
And we are parents to 2 amazing children.
Yeah.
We're entrepreneurs and doctors.
Doctors, PhD, not MD.
Not MD, but we're still doctors.
Yeah, we are.
Dr. Joe.
Dr. Brandi, absolutely. And when you're with us, we're going to talk about everything from identity and purpose, career and money, relationships, and
health and wellness.
Health and wellness. You're right. And I guess, buckle up.
Let's ride. Where we going today, baby? Where we going? Well, first, I do want to check in with you.
Okay.
Because I want to know how my boo is doing.
Okay.
I would like to know your
Which boo?
You.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Oh, man, you know.
Idris and I, we've already talked for the day.
Okay. Yeah, I talked to him too.
You know, Idris and I were good. I want to check in with you.
All right. That's cool.
Just teasing Sabrina. Isn't that his wife? I think her name's Sabrina.
I talked to Sabrina the other day.
They're so fabulous, aren't they? Okay, anyway, focus.
No. They're a good-looking couple. Good looking couple, for sure.
Just swagged out. Love them. Will you please be my friend?
So wait, them or Obama and Michelle?
Oh, I want them to be my... We're already friends. Like, we're homies.
All right.
You don't even know.
I love it. So...
And then, you know, Jay and Bay. I see them from time to time. We hang out.
Who is that? Come on now. If you don't know who that is, you're clowning, all right?
But I want to know your weather report. I want to know how my husband, the Dr. Joe, is doing.
All right, because I was about to give you a verse.
No, I want to know how you're doing. How are you feeling today? Well, in this moment. In this moment,
I feel great. The sun is out. I want to go to the beach.
I do too. Yeah. I do want to go to the beach.
Yeah.
We are supposed to get on a boat in a couple days.
Well, we're going to do it.
So you want to know me? Like my
Of course I want to hear.
So in this, it's so funny because like my weather report could change from moment to moment, from hour to hour.
You get a phone call, bam.
I know, right? So it's so interesting. Like, I think in this moment, the sun is out, the sun is shining. And you know why?
Why is that?
I really enjoy working with you.
Oh, do you?
I enjoy hanging out with you and working with you again.
Well, I love working on you too. I mean, working with you too.
You so fast.
No, real talk. I do.
Buckle up.
Hey, buckle up now.
No, I do. I really enjoy it. Like, you know, it's so wild. Like, it really does make me think of how it all began and how we used to do so much together. And then, you know, we had them damn kids and, life just kind of got distracting. That's true. It's really good to reconnect with you in this way.
We back, making it happen.
I love that. And it's so natural.
It feels good. It feels good. And I think, to be honest, it's therapeutic, at least for me.
Yeah.
Right? It's therapeutic for me to it reminds me of how we connected in the first place, because it was easeful, right? And we were so aligned with so much. And so it brings back a lot of memories.
But so given that we're talking about this in this way, it's such a perfect segue actually to like what's top of mind. And it's like the world of work.
Yeah.
It really is. So what's top of mind, and I know we're going to probably talk about this, but like what's top of mind for me is like, have you seen the price of eggs? Like
yo, you sounded like yo. Have you seen the price of eggs? Oh my God!
Don't mock me. But what I'm saying is like when I started driving, did you fill up your tank with, like, I filled up my tank with all the change in the ashtray. Like gas was literally like, I think 96 cents a gallon,
104,
105.
Yeah.
My first job, I was making $6, balling out of control. And it's just making me think of how economics has changed. Like things are so much more expensive. It's made me think about how the world of work has changed. Everybody knows at this point that I grew up with my grandparents, and they were of the generation where they were focused on retirement and pension. They did a job for 20, 30, 40 years. And I'm thinking of how my career has just changed and moved, and so I don't know, I'm just thinking about the world of work and all of that. There was no social media back when we started, so
well at one point there was like Black Planet,
but that started in our generation.
That's true that's later on.
Like AOL MySpace, was our generation. Like
I never forget on AOL, you used to hear it first. You used to have to cut the computer on to be like and I'm like, damn, what's going on, right? But I love that. And I think what's top of mind for me, what you're making me think about just in this moment, is the fact that I've accomplished things in my career which has impacted and given me the ability to do things for my family that sometimes it's like, wow. Because sometimes I'm always reaching for what's next or for more. And in reality, if you sit back, you like, look at this life.
Yeah, babe.
Right? And so that journey in terms of my career and the work that I've been able to do, I have to really check myself sometimes and say, yo, you got a lot more than you think you have. And never, ever, ever, ever compare to the next man. Right.
Never compare to the next man. And you know what? I know this sounds odd, but just given what you're saying, and don't hold yourself accountable for who you haven't even become yet.
Yeah. like,
because to your point, we lose sight of that. And this is for you too. You might not, your business might not be, as lucrative as you desire it to be. You might not be, the boss at the office. You might not have what you desire to have, but that doesn't discredit what you have. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you gotta hold space for gratitude and self-recognition.
And with you saying that, what I'm thinking right now is there's a prerequisite, right, to what it is that you desire.
Sure.
In terms of your life and career. And that prerequisite is you have to first become before you get what it is that you desire, right? And this is what I mean by that. You have a lot of people that maybe they win the lottery, right? They win a lot of money. So they're millionaires. And a couple of years down the line, they're broke, right? They haven't become who they're supposed to be in order to keep that. Because you can receive if you haven't become yet. But the thing is, you can receive it, but you'll never be able to keep it.
Yeah, no,
right?
That's real.
And so as we move forward, talking about career, I want to make sure that people continue to ask themselves, am I becoming who I'm supposed to become so that I can get what it is that I desire?
Let's be even more specific. Because you done brought a word today.
Come on, he-be-be. You
don't start doing that again.
Okay.
Baby.
All right, I got you.
They gonna come for you.
I got you.
You better stop.
I got you.
kind of funny, but don't do that.
No, I said, hey, baby. That's what I said. I said, hey, baby.
Hey, baby. Hey, baby. No, look. No, to be even more specific, though, I think so many of us are in pursuit of what we're going to do and like not really anchored in who we need to be in order to best position ourselves to live the life we most desire. Yeah. And like what you're saying isn't, so it's like, oh, I want this business. How do I make this business? Well, are you disciplined? Yeah. How do you practice greater discipline? Yeah. Well, how are your speaking skills? Do you have strong interpersonal and speaking skills? So it's not just how do I have a business? Let me work on this business plan. Yeah. That's a tangible thing connected to the business, but it's really what skills, talents, and traits, what do I need to become in order to be able to execute this thing? Yeah. And what habits do I need to shed? You get what I'm saying? Because what some people would do, because what we hear now is this: be your authentic self, right? Mm-hmm. Which is true. However, being your authentic self does not mean you don't have to change some of the things about you. Right. It don't mean that's you know real. What I'm saying? That's real. That's real. So, yeah, that's real. So yeah. And you know what? This is a side note, and then I'll get back on topic. But health and wellness is evident in everything. Very true. It's not just a topic, it is integrated in everything. You know what you're making me think of? I have a big issue, friends and family. I have a big issue. Y'all don't come for me. With this whole it's okay to not be okay sentiment. Say more. I hate that. Okay. Don't know anybody not be okay. No, like, that's true. It's okay to not be okay. I don't like it. And let me tell you, but I understand what we're trying to say. Yeah. What we're trying to say is it's okay to acknowledge when you're not okay. Okay. You get what I mean? Yeah, it's like, cause the whole sentiment is around like not fronting and pretending like you're fine when you're not fine. Right. And trust me, I understand what we're saying. Right. But I deserve and I want to feel whole. I want to feel good. I want to be happy. I want to have peace. I want to have joy. It's not okay when I'm not okay. I want to be okay. Yeah. And so it's like, it's okay to acknowledge when I'm not okay. It's okay to recover when I'm not okay. It's okay to ask for what I need so that I can be okay. Yep. I feel like that's really what we mean. And then the other part of it too is we're such a pleasure-seeking culture that sometimes it's genuinely okay to just be okay. Like, you're not going to be happy all the time. Yeah. Like contentment, we have a really hard time tolerating contentment. Children see it as boredom. All kids be like, I'm bored because they're not in a space of pleasure and joy. Our kids do it all the time. Yeah. No, that's called peace. Relax and learn how to tolerate nothingness. Yeah. That's why meditation is so big, because we're such pleasure seekers. So being okay is also okay. That's right. So if somebody's like, Brandi, how you doing? I'm cool. Like, are you really okay? I'm not happy, but I'm good. I'm fine. I'm okay. Well, anyway. No. I agree with all of that. Like, I love that. I love the fact that you're kind of reframing what it actually means, right? I'm really being specific. Right. And I want to add to that. So many of us are so programmed that even when something is going on in our life and someone asks us, how are you doing? The natural programmed response is, automatic. Oh, I'm good. I'm okay. Automatic. I'm good. Yeah. And that's not real. And we got to start saying, you know what? Right now, I'm not in the blessed place. So how about this? I'm not in the best place. It's okay to be aware. Because what you're describing is this habitual response that's not really connected. It's a lie. Right? We lie. It's not connected. So what we're really saying is it's okay to take the time to fully identify and acknowledge how you truly feel. There you go. Like, that's really what it's like growing the space in between, you know? Yeah. But with all that said, I think the way this connects to work and the pursuit of, like, you know, occupational or work-related goals, or dare I say, get the bag, you know, how we're talking about getting to the bag, is like, do you possess what is required of you? Because like your example of, you know, winning the lottery, it's like, well, if you didn't know how to do a budget before you got $1 million, what makes you think you know how to do a budget now? Yeah. Like, you got to learn that. That's true. Otherwise, you're vulnerable. So you get all this money and you're about to be broke again.
But you know what? It's not even a but, it's an and. I think it's so much that we don't talk about, right? In terms of the impact of your upbringing and the connection to your career. And we're talking specifically money.
And money,
right?
yeah, for sure.
Right? And so think about it. If you grew up and if you heard this before, right? Make sure you send us some type of message or something, right?
You like word?
Yep. If you ever heard, don't touch that when you was in the store, we ain't got the money for that, right? If you ever heard that, or if you ever heard, don't you ask me for nothing when we walk in this store. If you ever heard, right? If you ever heard stuff like that, right? A lot of times we come from living check to check, right?
Right.
We come from never talking positive about money, but always talking about I'm broke, I don't have it. That's too much, right? That's a mindset, I would say a spiritual mindset that's developed as you grow up. And now when you're older, even if you make a couple of dollars, you still have the mindset of mediocrity when it comes to money. Therefore, you don't know what to do with that money.
It comes out a lot of ways. That's one way, but I feel like it comes out a lot of ways. It's like this accidental, and again, these aren't conversations around shade to anybody,
Right.
or like how you should or shouldn't do it. This is a conversation about impact.
And I'm talking about me too. Like I've been through this. Yeah.
Yeah, this is we're just sharing our stories around and then acknowledging the impact of these things on how we develop attitudes and beliefs about things. And you're right. Like when you grow up in poverty or, living check to check, there's a lot of anxiousness and unrest around security.
Yeah.
And that is expressed, and children inherit this mindset of like, oh, okay. And then a couple of different things can happen. Exactly what you said. Or when you get a little money, you start acting like you rich. Balling out of control.
Yeah.
No, honey, that's not really money. You're just used to not having money. So $50,000 feel like a lot of money.
Right.
I remember, when I went from internship, like when you get a PhD, you got to go do a residency, right?
Right.
And so when I went on my internship year, I was making something like $27,000 a year. Yeah. And I remember when I got my first postdoctoral job, I thought I was rolling in the dough. I was like, oh my God, they about to give me $50,000. Oh my goodness.
Which ain't nothing.
I'm rich, bitch. And no.
Yeah.
And then I started spending like that.
Yeah.
I started spending like I was just balling.
Yeah. Well, this is how it can also manifest, right? So say you do have a business and you start to make some money. What happens is you see the money in your bank account, right? And you're like, whoo, I got $100K in my bank account.
I start getting nervous.
Right.
I need some new clothes.
Right. But then you're like, I can't do anything with that because that safety net, I want to just see it there versus investing it or putting it into marketing. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about what everybody do.
I feel like you're talking about me.
Hey, listen,
because I be like that. Because I'm not the one that's like, I used to be like, oh, I got some money, let me go do stuff with it. I'm now more like, oh, let me be cautious.
Yeah.
Hold on
I'm the risk taker. She's the more like
conservative.
Right? And there's nothing wrong with that. You need a little balance, but a lot of that does have to do with the mindset.
That's very true.
Around money, but it can impact your career or your business. And what I mean by that is you have to, in order for your business to make money, in order for whatever you're trying to get off the ground to thrive and move to that next level, you're going to have to spend money to make money.
To invest. Yes.
Yeah. And the other part of that is some of us just don't know how to spend or where to invest. And it is tricky. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, once again, when you don't have that mindset of an understanding of money and you're not scared of money, right? It's a journey.
Well, and this is what I'm going to say.
It's a hell of a ride.
But this is the thing. Like, again, the psychology of it all is so important here because, first of all, I haven't always been this conservative with money. I haven't always been that way. I've become that way because I've seen the consequential nature of not being that way. Yeah. And because to your point, I haven't always been, and even still to this day, I'm not sophisticated enough or aware enough. I didn't learn financial literacy that well.
Yeah.
So it's either like you get money, you spend money, or you learn a little bit, okay, get money, save money, sow money. I remember in church how they told me to do it. Yeah. So, okay, let me do that. And then I remember, okay, well, maybe I should do the budget. Let me get me an Excel spreadsheet. Like, you just mature.
We did the envelopes.
The envelopes.
We did the envelopes.
And it helped us a little bit for that time. But you just mature in your understanding around it. But across that whole path, my comfortability, your comfortability is shifting. Your nervousness, your anxiousness. You're right. You're more of a risk taker. And that scares the hell out of me.
It scared me sometimes.
So and if you're scared of yourself, you know I'm scared. So a part of your risk taking fuels my conservative. Yeah. And I think a part of my conservative end up fueling your risk.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to figure out how that can complement each other well. Because, it's all about, for me, it's all about security. Yeah. Like something can happen. And do I have a safety net?
Well,
let me say this, baby. Uh-huh. And that's connected to the trauma. That's the trauma.
Always thinking something's gonna happen.
That's the trauma. That is a manifestation of, indirectly, my mama's death. Yeah. Some people would be like, I don't see the connection, but the connection is that lady died at 27 years old. She didn't have a career. She didn't have no life insurance policy. Right. She didn't leave me no money in that way or nothing like that. Yeah. You know, I think about my grandfather and his passing. He worked his whole life and left my grandma with very little, like nothing.
Yeah.
In fact, some debt. So, and I'm not putting them on blast. I'm just telling the truth.
Yeah.
So that impacts me where I'm like, if something happens to me tomorrow, because I'm aware that could be, what am I leaving my kids?
Yeah.
I need to make sure I have a life insurance policy. I got to make sure that there's a little bit of cushion.
Yeah.
So sometimes the trauma makes me scared to take risk.
Well, this is the cool thing.
And I think your trauma makes you a risk taker because you're like, I gotta
get it. I gotta get it. And there's no, there's a, first off, I get my hustle and my, you know what? Let me not use the word hustle. I get my drive from my mama.
Yeah.
Right. I would watch my mother if she would find a way. Right. And what they say at Clark at school, at Clark
we will find a way or make one.
Yeah. So
CAU all day.
There you go. But my mama taught me that. Right. And I think, as I think about that, we're talking money, but I want to move it and shift it to like, my mother taught me that about, figure it out, you learn how to do it. But what she taught me was essentially, I can do and be anything that I want to be. Mm-hmm. Right. And this is what she actually used to say. She used to be like, this is a white man's world, but you could be whatever you want to be. And for a long time, I was like, what is she talking about? Right. But what she was setting me up for this game we call life, right? She was setting me up to be able to deal with racism as a black man. She was setting me up to be able to deal with no's when people tell me, no, you can't do that. She was setting me up with when I have a setback, how to get back up, right? She was setting me up to be able to live the life and create the life that I desire. And I didn't know that she was setting me up for a hell of a ride. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
That connection.
I'm just saying.
He gonna make the connection.
Hey, listen, I'm just saying, but I knew after a while, I knew exactly what I wanted my career to be, and I started to create that.
Because she let you know that you could. She implanted in. Yeah. What I love about what your mom said, or what my mom said, because she's my mama too, is that she kept it real with you. Yeah. She was like, white supremacy is real.
Yeah.
And there's these political force against you. And you're still magic. You can still do it. Like, I love that it wasn't like this like overly fluffy message.
Right,
and it wasn't also like a daunting, like, it's gonna hold you down.
Yeah. And I think that's why like they have my mother and father have 3 children that went off and did some great things when you think about it, right? Yeah. Like, I'm speaking all over the place. PhD, my sister Shay, done a lot of television. My brother, music, television, right? We've done some amazing things. And guess what? Even with the work we've already done, there's still more to do. Right. But I will say, when I knew what I wanted to do. Well, let me say it like this, because I'm about to throw us into like getting it. How did I even know what I wanted? I get that question a lot, right?
Yeah.
How did I even know what I'm gonna do for a career? I tell people all the time, your soul is gonna speak to you, right? When you know exactly what it is you want to do, your soul is gonna have this peace to it. Your soul is gonna be working. You're gonna be like, wow, because I'll never forget. I worked in K through 12. I've worked in higher education. I've worked in corporate America, right? Now, this is the thing. I remember sitting in the office at all three of those points, and I was like, this can't be life, right? This can't be life.
This can't be it.
You working all these hours, and you get that check, and you're like, yo, what is this? I remember when I was working in higher education, they sent me a letter, and I was like, congratulations. We're giving you a 1 or 2% raise, right? Now your salary is $38,000. I saw that letter recently and I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Right? But when I felt in my soul and I knew that I wanted to speak and I wanted to impact lives, I started to set myself up to do that. And what you don't realize is that oftentimes you know what you want to do, but the world feeds you so much false information that you start seeking other things. That's why you have a lot of people with college degrees that they work in other areas.
Yeah, but again, I mean, I can't help myself because it's just so obvious to me.
Yeah.
Like the psychological warfare of it all
For sure.
is really something we miss. Like we don't name as much. Like everything we've talked about to this point connects to exactly what you're saying. Like that, when we talk about identity development, your mother planted in you very early that you are in some ways accountable for yourself. Yeah. Like you can do whatever you want.
Whatever.
And so that ignited a fire in you to some degree. Yeah. You, as we were talking about our kids, that part of you that was kind of independent and the part of me that's like, okay, I want them to be self-directed as adults. So I can't do everything for them.
Right.
Because I want them to be able to be critical thinkers. I want them to be self-directed. Like that connects to a person's ability to identify their purpose and then actually go for it. Because if that part of them isn't matured or nurtured, then self-doubt is going to prevent them from ever doing it. And then they settle. So it all connects. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then you have to have like distress tolerance because you're going to fail over and over and over again.
Oh, yeah. We tell JoJo that all the time. Like, okay, you're getting into this acting, you're going to get a lot of no's.
Yeah, and
he get a lot of no's.
Yeah, and he has to.
Yeah,
it develops his character in a sense. Yeah. It develops his stamina for it to endure. So it's like the psychology of it all. I think is so huge. It's not just knowledge or practical.
Yeah, and some people, they've been beat down so much by the people who were in power over them growing up, whether it was parents, coaches, teachers. They've been beat down so much. They have a gift, but they don't know how to unleash that gift, that purpose, because they've been beat down. And what they're doing is they're living the life of somebody else, right? Somebody said, this is what you should do. Go do this. You're good at that. And they don't want to do it, but because they've lost the sense to be able to listen to their own voice, that discernment, that soul, right? The beat down, the psychological warfare that you're calling it, what happens is you end up in a career, you end up creating a business that has nothing to do with something that you actually want to do.
And then you come to me talking about you depressed.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's depressing.
It is.
I mean, and I promise I'm not making fun of nobody, but I'm just acknowledging like there's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're depressed because you're living in disalignment. Yeah. And the risk of getting aligned now is making you anxious.
It's scary.
So everybody got anxiety and depression because we're living in disalignment.
Right.
And I hear a lot like I do agree with you. Like you're talking about how purpose is embedded in you at birth. Like I feel like it's in you and we develop language for it. You don't find it externally. It kind of bubbles up in you.
And let me be very clear. You don't discover or you don't find your purpose, right? Because purpose is in you. You unleash it.
Amen.
You unleash it. And you got to understand, you have to tap into the initial layer of your purpose, because if you do that, then you'll get introduced to the other levels of your purpose.
Let me tell you something.
I'm just saying.
My husband don't be playing around.
I'm just saying though.
So, but this is the thing. a lot of people are searching for purpose externally.
Yeah.
And like what you're saying, the beat down and all the messages and all the influences and all the trauma and all the inheritance really clouds the vision because, babe, you kind of said it like, it's like, wow, a lot of times it's quiet. It's so natural and it's so subtle that people, that pleasure seeking thing, people are looking for, like, dare I say, God himself to come and be like, here. It don't always work that way.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, people will ask me, how did you know you wanted to be a psychologist?
I was going to ask you that, but now you brought it up. Go ahead.
Right. How did you know you wanted to be a psychologist? Because I was one of those people, and everybody's journey is different. I knew early. I was writing Dr. Brandi since I was like 12.
Yeah.
I was writing that down. Now, with that said, there was a series of time where I was like, do I want to be a singer? Do I want to be a writer? Because I used to like write Judy Blume books, you know?
Oh, you sing?
A little bit.
Let me hear some.
No, not for real, but a little bit.
Sing your favorite song. Shattered, but I'm not broken. Ain't that your? I'm just saying that was your go-to when I found out you had a little voice in you. But go ahead.
No.
The storm of life will blow.
I need a new song.
Yeah,
song.
you do.
You be playing me. But anyway, so there are these other things of interest to me, but having been exposed to death and grief so early, I remember being in a therapy session at 10 years old. And in that moment, I'm like Joey. I'm like, in my mind, I think I'm an adult, but I'm really a child. Yeah. I just remember critiquing this therapist. I remember being like, why are you asking me about, like, she was asking me about Cedar Point, and I was like, why is she asking me that? She should be asking me about my mom.
Yeah.
And she was really trying to build connection. But in me, I knew, like, this isn't what this could be. It should be more. And then I just remember the school telling my grandparents, I mean, at some point, Brandi might need some therapy, but right now, she talked too much. She always talking to people in the class, getting distracted.
Talks too damn much.
And she in everybody else's business. Like, she always in everybody else's business, telling them what to do, basically. Yeah. So, no, I didn't know I wanted to be a quote unquote psychologist, but I knew I loved being connected to people.
Yeah.
I was nosy. And I wasn't afraid.
Yeah.
I wasn't afraid of intimacy in that way. And I knew I had this, I always say bonding. I thrive off of like intimate connection and healing and care and the whole I want to help people thing. And then it manifests as a psychologist.
So it sounds like, and because I want to make sure to say this, it sounds like you've been qualified to be a psychologist, right? Let me just finish. You've been qualified since you were younger.
Okay.
Right? Now, a lot of times people don't understand that they're already qualified and they got to get the credentials to actually do the work. Right?
Yes, so nurture their gift.
Yeah. So just so I'm clear, all right? If you've been struggling or you're stuck or you feel like you don't know what you should be doing, let me tell you right now, you're already qualified, right? You have a gift within you. However, just make sure that if you have to get certain credentials so you can actually execute that gift, go get them. And that's the reason why we have PhDs to do the work that we do. Yeah. But once again, you are already qualified.
Yeah. And you can feel, feelings are feelings. They have a place, but they don't have to distract you in the sense of like, again, you know, if you are so in love with organizing and interior design and event planning, and you just have a knack for pulling things together, and you spend your weekends thrifting, and you just love it, and then on Sunday you start feeling so shitty because you got to go to work at the plant tomorrow. I mean, you're not depressed. You're in disalignment. Yep. And then you're like, well, what should I do? You need to be thrifting. You need to be, let's figure out how to monetize that. Yeah. Or, you know, find a job that's more aligned. Yeah. You know, that kind of thing.
And so many people, the only issue that they have, and I say this all the time, because I had it, the only issue that they have is that they keep living with the phrase, I'll figure it out. And the reality is you won't figure it out by yourself. right? Ask for help. Get around some people who's doing exactly what they want to do. Feel that energy. Feel what that's like. Because one question can get you closer to exactly what it is you want to do. But some of us, because of our pride, because of how we've grown up, right, we don't like to ask for help. Yeah. And I tell people all the time, if you keep saying, I'll figure it out, and you probably use that phrase in so many different areas of your life, I'm telling you right now,
you spinning in circles.
You spinning in circles. You will remain exactly where you are and become more and more frustrated. So just ask for help.
I do be struggling with that though too.
Oh, trust, I know.
Your tone, though, I don't appreciate your tone. I do struggle with that because I think it's just like a habitual. I'll figure it out.
Well, that's dang, all of this. You're right. The psychological warfare, all of this, I could keep bringing back. I'll never forget. My pops was like, "There's no such thing as a dumb question. Ask your question. Ask your question." He would say that when I was little.
So he taught you that.
He always said, "I said even if they say if people think it's a stupid question, but you don't know, ask the question anyway."
See, and look, damn, babe. And see, I grew up kind of like, I don't know, figure it out. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, okay, let me just skip that. Let me figure. Or, a lot of kids grow up with like, stay out of grown folks' business. You don't need to know. Like, that's, whatever.
Oh, we definitely want to tap that topic of the secret, stay out of grown folks' business, secrets, just like, all of that.
Yes. Yeah. Like, we have so much power.
Yeah, listen, we got a lot that we're gonna talk about. So
baby, what the hell? What's your takeaway?
No, what's your takeaway? I'm asking. What's your takeaway?
I need some time to process. I don't know. I feel like we went on a hell of a ride.
Hey, for sure.
I don't know.
For sure.
Like, I think my takeaway is shit. What's your takeaway? I don't know.
Here, I'll start with mine.
I'm still processing.
No, that's cool. My takeaway is that when it comes to your career and the work that you're going to do, it's in your hands. It's in your hands, right? You have the ability to create the life and career that you desire. And if you try to wait on somebody to give you something, or you try to wait on everybody else to tell you what you should do, listen, it's in your hands. And with that, ask for some help, because you won't be able to do it by yourself, but you have the ability to create the life and career that you desire. That's what I got out of it.
Oh, you know what? I found it, especially hearing you. My takeaway is I am exactly where I'm intended to be. Like, this is where I'm supposed to be. And that feels uniquely important because everybody that know me know I have had this love-hate relationship with social media, with like the podcasting thing for a very long time.
Yeah.
And, and then I've had like ideals and visions for what my career should look like at this stage. And I recently made a decision to take a little professional pivot.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like that's my takeaway, because everything we're saying, it's not like just advice. It's like, this is my life. Yeah. So I'm like, damn, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that. I received that. And when I hear you say that, I don't think you're just talking career, but talking relationship, parenting, just so many different areas of our lives. So I received that.
Yeah, babe.
All right. So that was good. That was good. So with that said, listen. I just want to say this. The Hell of a Ride podcast is brought to you by the Diane Morgan Group and the Joe Johnson Group. And y'all make sure to keep listening. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on all social media platforms. Make sure you share this with somebody. But we also want to make sure that before you do that, we give you something, right? What's our challenge? What's our challenge for them? We talked about career today. What's going to be our challenge for them today?
I think the challenge for today has to be something that I don't know. Can we pause and do what we did the last one?
No. It's cool. You're good. I'll give the challenge.
Okay.
I'll give the challenge. And the challenge is going to be very simple. Okay. The challenge today is to sit down and reflect. Matter of fact, let me talk to the people. The challenge today is to sit down and reflect and ask yourself, one question. Ask yourself, what have I been lying to myself about? I'm going to say it again. What have I been lying to myself about? Write that down, okay? Think about your career specifically, but ask yourself, what have I been lying to myself about? Because there's something that you could be doing or should be doing, or you've been thinking about that needs to shift. And oftentimes a minor shift can lead to major impact. What you think?
That was all right.
Damn. You go then. Don't touch my head.
I mean, I'm not about to. I love you.
Oh, dang.
It was all right.
No, look, I get all deep, and she talking about that's all right. What you been lying to yourself about?
I'm not. That's why I said that's all right. If I had been like,
no, that would have been lying to me. I said yourself.
Well, many things, but we'll do that in another episode. I think the reason I'm reacting to your challenge that way is because I'm like, to make it as connected to what we've been talking about as possible, like as connected as possible, like on a scale of 0 to 10, write down how satisfied you are in your career. Like it's so like tangible and specific, You know what? Like
I'm gonna give you.
You
love.
get what I'm saying?
Actually, I don't. So what I want
it's like a pathway to your challenge.
No, I get you.
It's a pathway, like how satisfied you are first and foremost, and then the second part would be to identify what are the factors that make you dissatisfied, and what are the factors that make you satisfied. It's an insight orienting challenge because then you develop insight about what your purpose is.
Okay, so I'm gonna make it even easier.
You got 3 challenges.
Listen, I'm gonna make it even easier. Go to purposeoverdreams.com and go get my purpose assessment. It's totally free.
Beautiful.
Right? You're gonna do some of this stuff. All right.
Beautiful.
Go to purposeoverdreams.com and go do the purpose assessment. It's absolutely free. But let us know what you come up with after you do that. Is that cool?
I love that.
Dang.
You see how we're a good team, and it all merged out of honesty. It was all right.
I thought it was great. All right, with that said,
thank you.
Thank you so much. Tune in, and you've been in
for a hell of a ride.
Hell of a ride.